Okay, we are live with episode 212. Hello, everybody out in the live viewing audience. Let us commence. Welcome to episode. There's kind of a loud mouse clicking or something going on there.
Sorry, that's my mouse. It's
Okay,
my trackpad.
that's cool. Uh, let's do this. Welcome to episode 212 of the Nerd Extravaganza podcast, where whether or not you're AC or DC, you're doomed. Kind of struggling with this one. I'm Tom.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Cam.
And tonight we're going to be discussing Doom over at DC, which I understand from a comics perspective doesn't really work as Doctor Doom is a Marvel character, but you'll understand the Doom part once I make an abrupt segue to something else I want to talk about later. But first, let me segue over to some shameless self-promotion by reminding our listeners that they can check us out, and we absolutely would love if they checked us out. I almost said chucked us out. On iTunes, we like lots of stars, positive reviews, or negative reviews that are well-reasoned. And with that said, let's kick things off in our usual Nerd Extravaganza style with our weekly update. And, I'll go first since we're still in that habit of letting me lead off once in a while instead of sitting back and pondering as you guys give your updates. Let's see, what did I do this week? Oh, I beat Batman Arkham Origins. And when I say beat, I mean beat the main storyline. Now I want to, as with all the Batman games, I have to decide how many collectibles I want to go back for. I kind of don't want to linger too much in that game because I want to go on and play Arkham Knight now, which is the actual one on the Xbox One. And so that's cool. I'm looking forward to... I feel like I'm making my way through my games collection, which is awesome. Also did some comics shopping. Basically, like 15 Star Wars comics behind. I don't know what happened. Like I blink and I'm behind on collecting. But finally subscribed over at Corca Comics in Hollywood, Florida. Brian goes there quite often, and it's a little out of the way for me because it's kind of out west, but they're such a great shop and they're so friendly that I really want to give my business. So I finally took the plunge and subscribed to I think between my companion and I want to say just shy of 10 books. So I am a comic subscriber. And let's see, did I do anything else? Oh, also got the Valkyria Chronicles Remastered Edition for the PS4, which I don't know if any of you ever played Valkyria Chronicles. It was this awesome, kind of anime-inspired, strategy game, turn-based strategy game. And this is the new remastered version for the PS4, so I get to revisit that game and probably be frustrated by it and quit relatively soon. That's pretty much it for me. A lot of video gaming and comicking. And I'm sure there's something awesome I'm forgetting, but you got to be me to live my life, I guess. What can I say? And with that said, Cam, what about you, man? What you been up to?
Man, God, it's just a pretty tame week. I've been working, as you can see, I have a new background. I've been working diligently on my gaming layer. The whole loft, basically the second floor of my house, has been taken up now by shelving and all of my board games. This is about 1/3 or maybe 1/4 of all the shelving and games. And I spent a great part of the weekend organizing and putting that together and assembling a new gaming table, which I'm using right now to do the podcast on. Setting up a new smart TV, which is behind the computer. You can't see it now. And just generally doing manly man stuff, like putting things together and, sweating and using tools and, all that good stuff. So that was pretty awesome, and I'm pretty happy with what I've accomplished thus far. There's still, like I said, I'm about 80% done. Still about 20% that needs to get done, but definitely it's been a while in the making, so I'm feeling much better about that. Just doing a bunch of trades online for games. I've spent a little bit too much money on some stuff. I treated myself and I went ahead and bought Star Wars Queen's Gambit,
Hmm.
which is one of the Grail games for board gamers. I went ahead and picked that up, and just as an aside, just to give our podcast a little bit of a highbrow. Um, I don't even know what to call it. We can't be that highbrow if I can't even think of what to say. But a little bit of a highbrow attitude. I invested in a little bit of art actually this weekend. I bought my first Andy Warhol. Not a painting. It is a photograph, a limited edition photograph that he took a picture of and that he signed. It's actually a diorama. I wish I had it to show you guys, but maybe I'll show it next week. It's actually a diorama that he made. It's like an accordion. It's called the accordion. It's got this really cool orange like accordion that he crafted himself, and then overlaid it on a bunch of like digital art that he made, and then he signed it. Originally, signed it or whatever. So I'm not up to the actual paintings yet, but it's a Warhol, so I'm pretty. That was one of my bucket list life goals that I sort of ticked off. So, and it was just a very, just funny, just random set of circumstances. It wasn't like I was like, going to auction houses or galleries or anything like that with a little paddle. It's just, it just was a weird coincidence, and I ended up taking advantage of it, and so I'm happy. And no one knows where I live, so. And I got guns and a security system, so don't.
Is that a form-fitting black sweater you're wearing, Cam?
It is not. It is a Wu-Tang
Okay. All right.
T-shirt, so I'm not that highbrow.
Okay. Just wondering. I was expecting that to be what you're wearing. So.
It is not the time in Sprockets when we dance. For
Awesome.
anyone who remembers old school Saturday Night Live.
Well, definitely highbrow, Cam, and I am impressed. So.
And I did some gaming at the Adventure Game Store, of course, our amazing sponsor. Always do that every week, and that was fun. Had a lot of new people. I had 4 or 5 new people show up, which was really cool. And showed them some games, and that was awesome.
Nice.
So that was my week.
Awesome. We're going to be branching out into art appreciation soon, so
yeah,
not just gaming. Cool. If that wraps it up for you, then, Brian, what have you been up to? What kind of art have you been collecting?
I'll be getting all my art in a few weeks. Waiting on MegaCon for that, which actually was a lot of my week. I'm just making finalized plans and getting ready. I was really, really close to cosplaying for the first time this convention, but I cannot figure out for the life of me how to get like a bear suit for me. I was gonna go as Mr. Polar Bear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And bear hats, no problem. Bear fuzzy slippers is no problems. They have polar bear onesies, but they look like bodysuits on me, so kind of not entirely comfortable with that. I was thinking about just wearing white, but that feels like so half-assed. I don't want to do a poor job the first time. So I don't know. We'll see. I might just be in civvies.
I was gonna say I have a Chewbacca onesie, but it's brown, and I don't know that you.
It's bleach
super
it.
hot. It's super hot. I don't think that you like not hot like sexy, but like really warm. So I don't know that you'd want to be walking around that. You know what you might do, Brian, is check out like Kohl's or one of those places, like home goods type stores. They have those fleece throws. You might be able to. I have actually a black one that looks like polar bear. I mean, not polar bear, but looks like bear fur. If you got if they had a white one, you can just maybe make a cloak out of it or something, or make your own like sort of snuggie type thing.
Interesting. I might try that.
Yeah.
I really would like to pull it off. I wanna do the polar bear thing.
Yeah, Kohl's or Target or one of those. They always have those faux fur things. So, and you can feel good about not killing a real animal because it's fun.
I would feel pretty good about killing a polar bear.
If you did it with your bare hands.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment.
Bare hands.
Good one. Brian, I wish you luck in your quest. I hope you were able to pull off that cosplay. It's I will be impressed. I will be impressed.
Part of the problem is I can't get anyone else to go. I mean, especially that series. That would be great to have like a penguin and a llama and a mandrill and like all of these awesome characters. But most of my friends are fuddy duddies for some strange reason.
Cam, you know what we're talking about? Polar Bears Cafe.
No, I actually don't. Where's that at?
Well, it is in our imagination in Japan, and it is actually an anime. Sorry, an anime.
Anime.
About a polar bear who runs a cafe, and I don't know. We just stumbled on that like just browsing Crunchyroll like a couple of years back, right, Brian? And we're like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I think Rick actually found that. I think Rick found like the first episode and turned us on to it.
Actually, yeah, that may be the case and mentioned it. It's I've watched the entire series. It's shockingly good, Cam. It will draw you in.
I will. I do have Crunchyroll, so I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you should.
It's actually really amazing.
It is.
And other than that, I've been taking a page from Cam's book. I'm much smaller scale, but I'm building some shelves. I'm gonna get a little bit more room on my desk for the painting and things like that. I really I don't know. I've just been doing the leather and doing the wood and everything like that, and not painting like miniatures. So I'm gonna get back to that.
Sweet.
After this shelf project, which is definitely not miniature.
I've got a few thousand miniatures you can paint for me if you like, Brian. If you should happen to run out. Yeah, like all of these Kickstarters I have still in their like original shipping boxes. Like I have no idea what to do with them because I cannot paint.
We may never play them, but I'll paint them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You heard it here first, folks. Brian is committed to it. Anyway, anything else in the way of updates, or is that pretty much it?
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, that's not pretty much it for our segments, because the next segment is the news extravaganza, and I know Cam is ready to weigh in with all kinds of hard-hitting, interesting news.
Absolutely. I am a biker. I love my bike, and there is a company called Bike Mine, which came up with a new security system. You know, they have all these different ones where you can lock them up and this and that or whatever. This one is awesome, and I if I can buy it in the U.S., I will buy it. I think it was made outside of the country, but you'd think it'd be purchased in the U.S. because of what it does. It essentially scares would-be thieves by setting off like actual blank bullets. So it makes you think that it's like shooting at you. It's like the video is hilarious. If you have a chance and you're on the web, just look up Bike Mine security system and look at the video. It's almost like someone drops like one of those like strings of firecrackers. You know, when you prank someone and like light the firecrackers behind them. It's awesome. So I would love for that to happen if anyone ever tried to steal my bike. So I will be looking for that. The guy that plays the Mountain in the Game of Thrones adaptation, or Song of Ice and Fire adaptation, Game of Thrones on HBO, apparently has a like 12-inch dog. He has there's a video on the internet of him running with this little 12-inch little fluffy dog.
I'm sorry, I
absolutely hilarious.
I definitely misheard that initially. I'm like, oh, well, it seems to be in proportion. And then,
yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, he has a tiny Pomeranian.
That is adorable.
And he runs around on the countryside with it, like just the video is hilarious. I mean, I gotta think he probably did that for publicity, but who knows? Maybe he just likes small dogs. The Wolverine franchise is going to be wrapping up with Hugh Jackman after the next movie. He said he's done, basically, being Wolverine. Bryan Singer, basically the guy behind the creative team for X-Men, not X-Men, but the Wolverine franchise and character, has come out and said that he's hinted that the new Wolverine will be a clone of the old Wolverine and will be a female. So you will have a Lady Wolverine in the future movies after the next one with Hugh Jackman.
Don't doesn't Wolverine like have a daughter? Like,
That's actually his clone,
Yeah,
X-23.
is that her? Okay, all right.
yeah,
Well, she has like 2 claws instead of 3 on each hand or something like that. Is
yeah,
that...
exactly. It's like just one. There's no one in the middle, basically.
Okay, all right. Oh, that's cool.
So, which I never understood that. I mean, it's like, I mean, I know there's a story to it, but it's like, so it's a female, so she has one less claw than Wolverine.
Well, it's the chromosomal difference or
Phallic.
something.
It's a phallic difference.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a company in China called Huawei. And I think I'm probably butchering that. It's Huawei, and they are basically putting together a service that allows you to Skype with your dead grandparents.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So they want to. They're basically saying that in the future they're going to I mean, they're basically a consciousness company. They're trying to put consciousness into into the web, and so they're thinking that by 2035 they'll be able to download consciousness, and it's called transhuman, which is their philosophical school of thought and their technology. They want to upload us into the mainframe, man.
I like that, but I don't want some shadow of me persisting as some creepy online like entity. Like,
You don't want to be the ghost in the shell? Come on, man.
no,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
just the fact that they basically have this approximation of me that behaved kind of as I did doesn't mean it has consciousness or that I'm actually still living. So,
Right.
I don't know. Talking to some like simulacrum of a deceased relative just strikes me as rather creepy.
I mean, after like after a few generations, it's just gonna be like nothing. It's gonna be like cell phones.
I guess. I mean, I already find the Skype lady who dials you back to test your connection a little creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure the AI and the robots will kill us long before then, anyway.
20 years from now, like, do you really want your deceased loved one? How's Modern Family? Whatever happened with my parents?
Oh man. Well, speaking of creepy online things, BBC, much to all of the Whovian chagrin, about a year ago, maybe a little bit less, took Doctor Who off of Netflix. Well, yeah, the BBC took it off Netflix, and now they've launched their own, or they are going to in the very near future launch their own subscription service called Britflix.
Oh.
Not very original with the name, but hey, if you want your Doctor Who fix, you can subscribe to Britflix. It appears everyone is jumping on the subscription service bandwagon these days.
Really?
Yeah.
So you have to subscribe to that for Doctor Who. If you want to watch Star Trek, you have to subscribe to the like CBS.
CBS.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
It's an interesting way of getting a customizable cable package, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like everything you buy is like eight or $9 or $10 a month, so it adds up like quickly.
Yeah. Once you have 10 of them, you might as well just get cable.
Yep.
And finally, it appears that a Tetris movie not only exists, but it has an $80 million budget, and they are planning it to be a trilogy.
Ooh.
I don't know how they're going to make one, let alone 3 movies out of Tetris, but
They made Battleship kind of work.
I like
but
that movie.
that was one movie, and it had Rihanna, which was poor choice. But I mean, I feel like it's just gonna be like 9 hours of do 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 do. Like, I don't know.
I don't know, man. We'll have to
see.
see how things stack up.
Yes.
No?
And
Okay.
yeah, I like it. I like it. Stack up, yes. And finally, and this one was for you, Brian. It's I guess we got our first look at the droid that Alan Tudyk is going to be playing in Rogue One. Did you see that? Did you see any of those? Leaked?
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah. They leaked the.
I saw the ships and things. I didn't see a droid.
Yeah. It's leaked. Let me see. It's a shadowy figure. Um, well, before it was just a shadowy figure behind Felicity Jones in the first Rogue One trailer. Now the newest droid is out on the internet, and it's pretty badass. We'll link it.
Check that out.
We'll link it to the show notes. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I've been trying to stay away from spoilers, but that one kind of hit me because it looks pretty cool. And hopefully that doesn't doom anyone's pleasure of waiting to see the Rogue One movie without any spoilers. And with that heavy-handed segue, I'll toss it back over to you, Tom.
All right. I don't know if that segue was necessarily heavy-handed. I thought it was, showed an adroit touch, I guess, if that's proper English. But regardless, segue complete, and we are back onto the main thread of conversation, which I guess I should get to. News broke, as of the recording of the show, that there's a big shakeup over at DC. Apparently, the world has not come around to my minority viewpoint, and yours as well, Cam, that the Batman-Superman movie was just fine. And so heads are rolling, or reorganization is happening, or something's happening over at, is it DC Studios or DC Films?
DC Films.
Okay, DC Films. And Brian, I think you were the one who sort of brought this to our attention. Do I have more or less the gist of it, or is there anything more to sort of discuss regarding what exactly is going on?
No, that's the gist of it. Apparently, it raised, I mean, whether you liked it or not, it still made $800 million, didn't it? But that is apparently still a steaming flop in their opinion.
Yeah, they said they said that the movie will be profitable and it'll probably hit $1 billion, but they're saying that it's been months and it still hasn't hit $1 billion, whereas Civil War hit $1 billion in 2 months. I mean 2 weeks. So it's not how much money they're gonna make. It's not if they're gonna be profitable. It's how profitable they're gonna be. And I think really it's just envy of seeing how well oiled the Marvel machine is, and how hit or miss, and I think that's kind of being,
Generous.
kind. Yeah, that's kind of being kind. The DC movies have been so, and they're really banking hard on this Suicide Squad trilogy. So if that flops, they're in big trouble. And
Yeah, but it's almost too late for that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I think they're really worried. I mean, well, they've already gone back and reshot a bunch of sequences and a bunch of cinematography for the for that movie. So I think they probably were shitting their pants, and we'll see what they came up with.
Again, flop is, well, I mean, I don't know. I assume that they have certain projections, and their investors are counting on them hitting those projections, right? So even though they made a lot of money, they didn't make what they thought they were going to make. Do you think it's that kind of a thing, Cam, or?
Yeah, I think they, like I said, they'll be profitable, but they're not as profitable as they want to be.
Okay.
And when they go to investors and they say, hey, look, we've got these movies to pitch to you, they want to be able to show them. I mean, it's greed, but it's also future interest, because when you go to someone and, someone who has money to invest in a movie, and if you're someone from Marvel and you're saying, hey, we want your money, look, we made $1 billion with Civil War in 2 weeks. That person's going to give their money to Marvel way before they give it to DC, who hasn't even hit $1 billion in whatever it is, 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's future potential for investment, production, and basically faith in the brand, essentially.
Sure. And probably the terms are more favorable if you've got
Right.
a proven winner. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I don't think. I don't know. I all things considered, I don't know what impact the internet has, but people, am I wrong in my perception that people were determined to hate that movie from the first trailer? Like they were just like, this is not the Superman I like. Urgh.
Even before the trailer, they heard Ben Affleck and they were like, no, fuck that guy.
Exactly.
I got in an argument with Lester over the weekend. He cannot forgive Ben Affleck for Daredevil. But
What the fuck? That was so long.
Forgiving Ryan Reynolds for fucking Deadpool is no the first Deadpool, of course,
Yeah.
not. Everybody just forgot about that.
Well,
Oh
let's
yeah,
be
he was in
Green
there.
Lantern. Yeah, let's be honest. Green Lantern too was pretty stinky.
I mean, I remember Daredevil sucking, but I don't remember it being like horrendously bad. I just remember it being kind of suck. Like, well, that was a little disappointing. That was like that. That was when that first gen of comics movies was kind of just like, oh my god, it's like one mess after another.
It was pretty bad. I mean, and, you know, Colin Farrell, even on top
Oh
of that,
god.
made it even worse. It was just it was pretty stinky. Um, and like I said, Green Lantern, you know, how can you forget that flop too? So if you're
I,
talking Ryan Reynolds, you know.
I actually I like Green Lantern.
Oh,
I thought it
sorry.
was fine.
Oh,
I don't.
cool.
I guess I don't understand what people don't like. I was entertained. He was fighting people with his lantern powers and.
He was with his lantern-powered minigun.
Yeah. Didn't he make like a water slide too, like at a party or something?
But he can make all kinds of zany stuff. Unprecedented. And like if he wanted, he could turn it into a big hamburger helper globe and swat somebody.
Yeah.
He literally powered by his imagination, and he comes up with a big gun.
What? Give him a break. Man.
That's how creative he is.
I wanted to see. Didn't what's his face, Sinestro or whatever, was birthed at the end, right? Like got the yellow ring or something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of wanted to see where that was going to go, but they borked it up. So that's the end of that. I wonder if they'll bring that character back in DC though, at all.
They should. They should in the Justice.
Really big. They kinda have to be.
He's not in the Justice League, is he? I can't remember.
Sometimes I think.
Yeah, I mean they should, at least in the team up movies they should at least have him.
Yeah, and they could. I mean, there's other people that can play the. I mean, the character could be depicted a few ways. It's a title, not necessarily a person. So.
Exactly.
I hope they bring that character back and it's good. But yeah, I don't know. I guess because I'm not sitting in the investor meetings, I don't have a perception that DC's like on the ropes and dying. The nerd herd, of which I'm a member, would have it that DC they're ready to close up the studio and that's it. They just can't hang with Marvel. It's that criticism reeks of Marvel fanboyism in my opinion, and I can't not read that into all the comments I read online and so on.
I agree. I think it's 80% of that, but DC isn't helping themselves with some of the movies that they made either, though.
I'll take it a little bit further than fanboyism. I think, especially on the internet, people love to watch others fail. And this whole... It made $800 million. That's not a bad movie. Like, a lot of movies would be thrilled with those numbers. Mm-hmm. God, it's just difficult for me to accept that unless you're number one, you're dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I'll say it like for the 15th time. I thought Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice was better than Civil War, but you would think Civil War was like fucking best thing since Avengers.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%, and I liked it better than Civil War, but I don't know. I feel like people are liking it just to like it. I mean, there were definitely parts during that movie where I was like, man, I could take a snooze right now. But like, I mean, I liked it. I liked this. I thought it was clever storytelling, but again, it's sort of like what we've talked about in the last few Marvel movies. They're putting so much into the movie, which is good, I guess, for your dollar. I mean, we're the first to pan these movies that break things into 2-3 different movies, but it's expecting a lot, and I'm someone who like grew up reading the comics and knows the story arc, and it's like almost it's a lot for me. So if you're just a casual fan, I mean, like I said, my girlfriend who would be the quintessential, or my companion, the quintessential casual fan, I mean, she fell asleep. So I don't know. And she loved Dawn of Justice. I mean, we watched it together, and she thought it was great.
Well, okay, considering that, and I think the flash in the pan, like 800 million in one weekend, and then no more box office attendance for DC was the casuals, like all the people who want to go see a movie on opening weekend went and saw it, and then all the like I don't like DC people just never went and saw it. So they got like all the like let's go see the latest movie of the week. People like me to go check it out the opening weekend, and then it fell off as the nerds didn't show up in great numbers.
Mm.
But given that failure, and I'm putting that in air quotes as Brian has pointed out that it's not exactly a box office slouch. What do you think they're doing? Like right now, they're cutting people and firing people and doing whatever sort of reorganization. Well, no, let me not even speculate. What do you guys think the shakeup at DC Films actually is? And what do you think their goals are?
Well, I think, again, like I said before, I think their problem, and it seems the reorganization that I've read about them doing is that they want a singular vision. It seems to me that they've been very disjointed, whereas like the Marvel Universe, like, I mean, they release, it's like an event when they release their like upcoming movies, you know what I mean, way out to like 2020. You know, they know exactly what they want to do. It seems, just when you just think about Marvel Studios, you know, I don't know, I feel like even if you don't know much about them, you feel like they have a plan. You feel like everything is together. The Easter eggs were brilliant that like sort of lead to each other movie, and I feel like whoever's running it knows exactly what they're doing in terms of putting everything together, getting people excited for new characters, you know, first putting them into a sort of a, you know, almost a buddy cop sort of thing, like putting them all together in a team and then spinning them out into their own movies. I mean, it just seems like there's much more competency coming out of their camp. And I think that the move that DC is making is to gain that competency, which I'm not saying the people that were running it before were incompetent, but I think that maybe they lacked the vision that Marvel had. And then I'd say partially for that, but I think even more importantly to try to portray that competency to the public. That look, okay, we've circled the wagons. We know what we're doing now. We're basically doing what Marvel's doing, and you know, come see our movies in the future because you know we've got it right now. We have the formula.
DC's been in a rotten position for a while because I think they've been doing a lot of reacting to Marvel.
Mm.
Holy shit, people want tie-in movies? Okay, let's do that.
Right.
But it takes, like, what, 3-4 years? Once you have that idea to get to it. So I think they're just now kind of doing what Marvel did, I mean, 3-4 years ago with Avengers. And Marvel's kind of matured the audience. And now it's almost expected. Now Marvel's doing it, Disney's doing it, which is the same thing, sure, but, you know, all the Star Wars spin-offs and everything. And I don't know, I just think they need to stop reacting and do their own thing. And hopefully this is it. Hopefully, like, one man's vision and not necessarily just doing, like, what tests well.
Yeah, that's what. See, the reshooting for Suicide Squad, and now this reorganization we're hearing about. Yeah, I hope I'm with you guys. I hope this isn't them like, do what the Marvel guys are doing and do it now, because then
I'll say even more than that. I really hope they're just not trying to make Suicide Squad like rated R. Like, I really.
Well, what I've been reading is that they're trying to lighten. They're not trying to go darker. They're trying to lighten things up because I mean, the Marvel movies are I think part of why they're very successful, especially with just the casuals, is that they're lighthearted and they're funny. You know what I mean? They're just fun movies. You go and you have a good experience, even if you don't give a shit about the Avengers or whoever it is that's on the screen or Thor or whatever. You laugh and you know they're likable characters. Whereas in DC, they're very gritty and it's grimy and Ben Affleck and you know what I mean. It's just it's a much darker and grittier approach that they've taken. And everything I've read so far about this whole shakeup is that they want to lighten it up. And Tom, just to go back to what you were saying, Iron Man came out in 2007.
Yeah.
or 2008 maybe. I don't remember when it came out. Let me look it up right now. Yeah, Iron Man came out in I think 2008. So, and that's really when they started, like, all that. You got to figure that movie probably was 2-3 years in production.
Hmm.
So we're in 2016. So you're talking at least 10 years that they've been plotting and planning and putting this all together. So if DC wants to catch up, they've got a long road ahead.
I mean, I guess I just I'll restate it. I hope catch up isn't like become Marvel because
Right.
I mean I think back to the original 1989 Batman movie, and I know that's not the first Batman appearance on the screen, but for me that was the first Batman. That was the first Batman. I mean, to be honest, there was the old television show and there were the comics, but that's what I remember from being a kid on the screen.
You're
And
talking Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton. And I don't remember that being a laugh a minute. Like, it wasn't funny. And for the time, it was kind of dark.
Yeah.
So I don't. But the characters have personalities, but I don't remember there being like campy jokes and like when those got bad is when they tried to introduce the campiness with Batman and Robin and all that. Like,
I know the sequels were considerably worse, but I do remember people being disappointed in that Batman movie. It failed to meet expectations too,
Really?
didn't?
I love that. I love that. When I was a kid, I loved that movie. That was such a good movie.
I mean,
That's
I-
actually why I remember it not being as received as it was expected to be, because I went to see it. Was one of the first movies like I actually went to see on opening night. Stood in line for like 2 hours to get into it. Loved the experience. Blown away as like a 12-year-old or whatever. Just blown away, and people were like, it was all right. I don't think it was all that great.
wow, I don't. My perception of it, like I remember the morning shows were talking about it. They had guests on. It was all over the news. Prince was doing videos, based on MTV. Like, it was. I perceive that as being a tremendous hit, but maybe that might have been just my childhood perception, Brian. I'm sorry yours got ruined by naysayers and.
I saw that movie 5 times in the theater. 5.
I saw it twice. Like, re-seeing a movie wasn't happening, but I was raving about it for days after, so my dad let me go again with my friends to see it. I love that movie, man. Now it looks a little like it's on a set, like it's sparse.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like technology, but like it's still. I mean, it's at the time you were blown away, especially by Nicholson.
Yeah, he was a fantastic character. But, well, okay, so let's talk a little more DC. Regardless of how you feel about him, the Christian Bale Batman series was successful, right? I mean, I was over that by the end. I was hoping for them to go in another direction. But see, people forget those were successful by any measure, and I think those were going head to head with Marvel, and people were loving them.
I'll tell you what, 2 was the only one I liked.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, man. There was just something about all the like Ra's al Ghul stuff, and I could not get into 1. I mean, I don't hate it, but didn't blow me away. Heath Ledger stole 2. I'm not sure I would have liked it without him or what's her name, Maggie Gyllenhaal.
You liked Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Oh, dude, like weird, like fetishy. Oh my god.
God, I would kick her down a well. I can't stand her.
I'll watch anything with her.
I can't stand her. Oh man, I like Jake, but just Maggie. Oh.
That is an interesting. That's just an interesting dividing point to me is love or hatred for the actress.
Oh man, hey, you just like who you like or you hate who you hate, Just...
Yeah, I guess. I actually liked the third one even. Like I was ready. I was glad the series was over after that. But other than Bane not being like Mexican and stuff, like or a luchador, I thought it was all right.
Okay, so wait a minute. Hold on. Somebody punched him and he broke his back. So somebody punched him again and it fixed it.
Well, wait, no, he rehabbed himself in that pit so he could survive or whatever. Like, you're talking about when Batman.
Yeah.
Look, all I had to go on for Bane on the big screen was Bane from like Batman 4 with the Bane juice and Uma Thurman. And
Yeah.
So, which by the way, the very colorful Batman that everybody hates that had Poison Ivy and
Mr. Freeze,
Mr. Freeze.
Arnold.
I actually didn't hate that movie. The third one with Riddler and who was the other villain? Two-Face, Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
That one sucked. That was unbelievably bad. But the fourth one, cheesy as it was, I liked it. If I had to rank those, I might go 1, 4, 2, 3. 2 was with Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Catwoman.
I like Danny DeVito as Cobblepot.
Yeah. Thought it was fine. Anyway, my point being, I think DC has succeeded in the past on their terms, and I hope they don't lighten things so much that it becomes Marvel-esque. But at the end of the day, they are appealing to audiences, and they're going to do what they're going to do, I guess.
True.
Which brings me abruptly to another topic, and as the title of this episode is DC Doom, and Doomsday was a character I thought prematurely used and disposed of in the Batman v Superman film. Spoiler, Brian, I know you haven't seen it.
I've heard all about it.
Well, good. Then you will not mind me segueing away from it immediately and seizing on the word Doom to shake things up here at the Nerdstravaganza, because if DC is going to react by like shaking things up when I feel they don't need to, there's no reason we shouldn't. And that is the only way I can think to shoehorn this in. I wanted to talk to you guys about this, and so I'm going to. We don't have to play it together. I just want us to all experience it around the same time so we can compare notes. I want us to play the new Doom game that came out. And I say this because I haven't played Doom since Doom. So I haven't played 2 or 3. So this is like the first Doom since Doom. And my experience with the original Doom was on the original PlayStation, which means instead of a soundtrack, it had creepy baby noises and moaning and ambient like sounds. It was the game was disturbing. It was horrifying, actually. And more so with that soundtrack, I feel. But I would like to return to Doom and play that as we ignore the Doom of DC films. So I have something to distract me. So what do you guys think? You could choose the console. I'm assuming we're all going to be playing on console, I assume. And I'd like to play it and see what you guys think. Maybe do a little, if not an episode on it, a little discussion of it during an upcoming episode.
I'm all for that. We were talking before the show. A buddy of mine got it like right when it came out, and he said it was really good. He liked it, so why not?
Cool. What do you think, Brian? I sense you're the least on board with this idea.
I'm not excited about it or anything. It's just not a series I ever played or liked or anything. But I mean, I wouldn't not play it.
Okay. All right. Good.
As for the three of us coordinating something, we'll see.
Well, play it within the next month, let's say, so we could discuss. It would be cool to have some updates on what we thought of it. I've heard really good things about it, and I don't know. I just think it would be cool. And kind of cool to see an old franchise come back and succeed, in my opinion.
You can have a LAN party.
Yeah, man, 4-player multiplayer.
Oh man. No, I'm speaking of bad movies. That movie was horrible.
Doom? Oh my God, Doom with the Rock.
The Rock, yeah.
I don't remember the name of the movie now. Damn it! Have you guys seen the new ad with the Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson?
Yes, for that new movie called something. Yes.
Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson? I can't believe
Dude, I swear to God, they're working on like some action hero movie, and the tagline is, "You need a little heart and a big Johnson."
Yes.
my God.
Yes.
Central Intelligence? Is that it?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I'm just looking at like the freeze frame picture of the trailer, and it looks terrible. It's like The Rock like this, and then like Kevin Hart like in front of him like this, like in a basket or something. I don't know what's going on there.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson gives me hope that as I get older, I will become larger and more muscular. That defies biology in most cases, but somehow he's managed to do it.
I actually really like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like I met him once just randomly through a
Oh,
friend.
I'm sure he's awesome.
He's an awesome guy. He was like so super cool. But like I don't know him or whatever, but I met him once and he was super cool to me. It took time to whatever. But like I don't know. Then again, didn't he do that? Wasn't there a movie where he was like in like a fairy tale, like a
the
fairy
Tooth Fairy,
costume
wasn't it?
Oh, wasn't he? Was he the Tooth Fairy? Like he was in like full on spandex, or was that Vin Diesel?
Wait,
I thought that was him.
No, Vin Diesel did one recently where he was like a medieval warrior or something, like the Witch Hunter or something.
Yeah, the Witcher. Yeah, no. Vin Diesel did the Pacifier, I believe, where he was a babysitter.
Yeah.
But he was like a Navy SEAL and then like had to be a babysitter or something.
Yeah, but he also did the Last Witch Hunter. He did that too.
Yeah.
No, but Ken, there was no qualification. I was just like, there's.
Oh, you're just like.
He gives me hope that as I get older, I could get in better shape, not worse. So that was it.
Well, hey, man. I mean, there's a shot for that. I think you and me both. We could go down to the male enhancement clinic, and I think we could probably.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about getting enhanced. I think why not? Like especially after you watch Captain America, like he got enhanced and look at him, he got jacked.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if I could bring up the one scene from that, like the total like service to the ladies when he's. Did we talk about this during the episode last week where Captain America has to grab a helicopter?
Yeah.
He's trying to keep the helicopter from escaping, and so he's got a grip, like he's got an overhand grip on this wall and then another hand on the elevator, and then of course he figures he'd get more leverage if he flipped his hand around and did like an arm curl. So his like bulging biceps are like, he's like flexing.
Yeah, he's like curling he's like curling the freaking helicopter back to the building. That was hilarious.
Yeah, my companion has mentioned that scene more times than I'm comfortable with at this point.
Oh man, it's her screensaver now on her phone.
Yeah. It's just a gif of him flexing.
No, that's Well, I mean, look, he's a good-looking man. You can't get around that. That's why he's Captain America.
You don't want an ugly Captain America.
Yeah, exactly. Did you guys see? Speaking of, did you see the picture, the meme going around where the kid who plays Bucky Buchanan? They have his picture right next to, like, his picture, like, just in a normal sort of, like, whatever, like, outside of the movies, next to Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
They look like exactly, I don't know how much of that is, like, touched up with, like, Photoshop or whatever, but if it's just a true picture by picture, they look like exactly the same.
Oh, shit. Now the EU fans are going to be mad, like, see, they could have just continued the story the day after. They had an actor that looked like Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Well, they'll probably do a standalone Luke Skywalker movie, right?
Nah. They get away from the Skywalkers.
I mean, he's probably going to die. So.
Oh, don't say that, although he probably is.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess Han's going to be in one of the spin-offs, right? I mean, they don't have to do it. They don't have to do it in sequence, right?
Yeah, so they could do. I mean, I don't know if I want to see a solo. Well, a solo. I don't know if I want to see a solo Luke Skywalker movie. I don't even know if I want to see a Han movie now, knowing what befalls him. He gets killed by his Evo son, but.
Well, I mean, I want to see it if they're going to fill in a lot of the good backstory with Kylo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to know what the hell Luke's been doing, like, for the last 30 years or whatever.
They're gonna fill that. Well, oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wonder if this is I guess Rogue One.
I think it's like young Han Solo though, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's supposed to be in the past, so.
Prequel type stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I guess it would be after the Wait, hold on. Let me
No,
repeat this.
before any of the movie. Well, before any of the movies he was in.
Yeah, so after the prequels and before the original trilogy, when he would be what, like a young smuggler or something like
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
that. Yeah. Yeah, should be good. Should be good. It's not going to be any Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. But, you guys have any idea what the next? So Suicide Squad is next, and then are they going to do individual character movies before Justice League, or do you guys?
Well, they've announced a Harley Quinn movie, so we'll be seeing that soon.
Okay. It should be.
They're probably going to rush that one out too.
Are they going to use the same woman? Do you know?
Think so.
Oh,
She's
the
good.
one.
I don't mind her. She's good.
She looks cool in the photos I've seen.
Yeah.
So.
But Will Smith, I believe they're wanting to do 3 Suicide Squad movies, like just actual Suicide Squad before even Justice League. Not before, but like in conjunction with Justice League as well. So, and I don't know if Will Smith is tied to all 3 of them, but
Is there any reason they wouldn't? The Suicide Squad is all like basically the CIA or the FBI or whatever approached these criminals and they were like, look, do these missions or else. Like, you're done.
they're all in jail basically. So they're
Right.
like, well, you can either do these like super high risk missions or just rot in jail for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I don't think those. So I'm assuming it's the same universe as the mainline DC movies. They're not doing like split universes, are they?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
What's funny though is, and you know, I just thought of this. What's funny is that like, as well as Marvel has done in the movie universe, and DC has done and
Yes.
not poorly, but like it's exactly the opposite in the TV
Yep.
TV realm. Their TV shows are freaking amazing,
Yep.
and Marvel's have been crap. Like, I Agents of Shield I couldn't watch. Like, pretty much all of them I couldn't watch.
You would think that DC would capitalize on their television universe, but they're totally separate. The TV stuff and the movies are totally separate.
Flash, Arrow, Gotham, love it. Love all of that. I've loved every single DC offering basically. The only Marvel series that I find palatable is Daredevil. It's okay.
Still haven't watched it.
I didn't mind. I didn't mind Daredevil, but like, Jessica Jones is Marvel too, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Marvel sucks. I don't watch Marvel. I don't. No, I'm just kidding. Marvel's fine. Marvel's fine.
But yeah, it's funny how they can do so well. Both of them can do so well in one, but then fall down in the other. And it's funny that they're like polar opposites in each.
I think you'll see DC improve. They're going to find their footing. They're not going to continue to disappoint and fail with $800 million showings at the box office. I suspect.
Yeah. So. And by the way, that movie only that budget was $300 million for that movie.
Oh, okay.
So they still made $500 million with.
No, you're going to take the advertising out.
Well, yeah, but still. Okay, so take $100 million out for advertising. So they still made $400 million. They still made 100% profit.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're going to be able to keep the lights on at their movie studio for a little while. Something tells me. But anyway, so I'm glad we discussed this. The shakeup is, we're assuming, going to be a lightening up of things, and some move towards doing what Marvel's doing right. I hope not too much of one. That's my opinion. I hope you guys have more or less the same mindset.
Yeah, I would say so. I think something needs to change, but I agree with Brian. I hope they're not just rushing to try to be Marvel.
Put in some zany jokes.
Yeah.
Recast. Who was Deadpool a takeoff on?
I think Deadpool was the general parody, and then Deathstroke was his parody.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope that I hope they don't feel the need to inject their own like lighthearted goof character to fight back. So, wait, I thought, wasn't Deathstroke like Wade? What's his face? The guy from Arrow?
Slade
Wilson.
Slade Wilson. Yeah. Wade. That character was awesome. I thought.
Yeah, for sure.
I just kicked his ass in Batman the other day.
But I will say I'm excited about hopefully finally getting a good Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, that should be like. Yeah, the kid they got to play Spider-Man was good.
Was awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed that kid. I mean, that was like and I wasn't even expecting it. You know what I mean? I think that's what was so good about it too, was that like you were so focused on, all right, so Civil War, whatever, and all the Avenger characters or whatever, and then here comes Spidey, and it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was well done. But go Marvel. But we're not talking about Marvel. We know they're doing
Yeah.
well.
Come on, Suicide Squad, give us something good.
Yeah. When's that coming out?
I'm not sure actually, but I mean, I really hope to. Speaking of Gyllenhaal, I really hope he does well with. I mean, it's a tough act to follow with the Joker, but.
I mean, I liked what's his name's Joker, but I don't think like that defines the character for all time or anything.
You'll hear a lot of complaints no matter what. Jesus Christ, they changed like the face of the chin of Batman, and people shit themselves.
August 5th is Suicide Squad.
Oh, awesome! That gives us plenty of time to play Doom.
Yeah.
In the meantime, which is what I was trying to do, get my way back over to that one last time. So with that said, with Doom on the horizon for us and Doom not on the horizon for DC Films, in spite of the fact that they wasted a Doomsday a little early, in my opinion, I hope he's back reincarnated at some point. Anything else, or you think we've?
Oh, and I'm an idiot. Not Jake Gyllenhaal. It's Jared Leto.
Yeah, Leto.
I said Jake. They're interchangeable to me anyway.
They kind of are.
Yeah.
No,
Sure, it's not his sister you hate.
No, I definitely hate Maggie Gyllenhaal. The only movie I could tolerate her in was that movie with Will Ferrell, where he was like the tax guy, and he was like hearing.
Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah. This is the only movie I could tolerate her in.
I don't think I could pick her out of a lineup. Actually, I'm bad with actors and actresses.
Oh God, horse-face, terrible actress. That's all you gotta know.
All right, I'll remember that.
Not that I'm the freaking prom king, but hey, I mean.
You have more of a llama face.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Llamas are regal animals.
All right, guys. Anything else? You ready to spell out the doom of tonight's episode? I think that works. Spell out the
I think
doom.
we're good. Yes.
All right, this episode's doomed. Anyway, I'll remind our listeners that they can first-person shoot their way into Nerdstravaganza fun every week and not be doomed to mediocre podcasts by subscribing to us on iTunes, checking us out on Stitcher, or subscribing to us in Google Play Music.
Like us on Facebook, Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, add us to your Google circle, and join the Nerdstravaganza HQ group on Facebook.
Hop on your horse that looks surprisingly like Maggie Gyllenhaal and head on over to our new website, nerdstravaganza.com. It's been just revamped for your viewing pleasure. Put on your football cleats and step on Maggie Gyllenhaal's face as you head on over to YouTube and check out all of our video content. And send us an email at nerdstravaganza@gmail.com and tell us how much you hate Maggie Gyllenhaal.
And with all that said, Brian, please do something that will ensure that Maggie Gyllenhaal will not rule out coming onto our show.
More Maggie for me, Cam. That's fine.
Oh, man.
See you next week, Maggie. Thanks for coming on. Good night, everybody.
Night, guys. Fuck you, Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh, my God. What did she ever do to you?
Nothing. I just can't stand her.